Hey guys, human rights attorney Leigh Dundas here. I have some late breaking news from you right now. It is 1:30 East Coast time Saturday, the days after the election. I just got off the phone on a conference call with President Trump's campaign and their lawyers. I'd like to go over some of the data that they imparted. The first thing to know is media does not call elections, folks. I repeat, media does not call elections. Elections are done in a standard way that is set forth in our democratic process. And what Donald Trump wants the world to know at this point is this is no longer at this juncture a fight about a president or presidency. This is a fight about the very bedrock of our constitutional republic and the democratic process. You cannot have a free country if you cannot trust the electoral process in that country. If we have widespread voter fraud, we are no different than all of the banana republics across the world, third world countries, communist countries in which I do work. So at this point, Donald Trump isn't fighting for a president or himself. He is fighting literally for the democratic process, for the electoral process and the integrity of it. And here's the thing, if we don't win this and get rid of all of this evil and these electoral inconsistencies and these voter fraud issues, we're never going to be able to have a safe election again in the future. And the Republican Party, or any party, is never going to be able to fairly compete on a level playing field. So this, at this point, is about much more than who's the next president. And he is absolutely in this to win this, guys. Okay, so I want to get you up to speed on a few of the states that we've all been watching like hawks, and obviously the campaign is as well. In Arizona, they have late ballots that are still dropping. They are uniformly breaking in favor of Trump, such that Biden's lead is down to about 20,000 when a few days ago it was 5 times that. They are going to continue to break in that direction, and if so, we should be good to go. If not, when it's within 1%, there's an automatic recount, as I understand it, and or a party can request a recount. Georgia is already going to a recount. The Secretary of State there, Brian Kemp, is a Republican. He is a sane guy. They have lots and lots of overseas and military ballots that are still outstanding, and it is likely going to be weeks, I repeat, weeks, before Georgia can be properly tallied, which means nobody at this point should be calling the race. Also, they have evidence of illegal ballot harvesting in multiple counties in Georgia, and they believe the recount, they know the recount is going to shine a light on this, bring all of the fraud to the surface, to the surface, where the ballots that were not properly cast can be invalidated. And again, once they handle this, then we know how it's going to shake out, and it's going to shake out in Trump's favor. In Nevada, they have 58,000, if I did not misunderstand them, mail-in ballots that still haven't been counted, and 68,000 provisional ballots. There are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of voters who never should have voted in Nevada. Lawsuits have been filed. Clark County DA's office has been notified, as has William Barr and the Department of Justice. All of those investigations are being commenced. And again, once these inconsistencies, anomalies, and straight up election issues that never should have occurred have been handled, we have a close race there, but it's a doable thing. The other thing to know about Nevada is 90 days out, guys. Apparently their legislature or governor, I'm not sure which, rammed through changes that allowed for massive mail-in voter, and their voting lists weren't up to speed. They weren't properly pruned out and weeded through. It resulted in hundreds and hundreds and thousands of ballots going out multiple times, 2, 3, 4 times over to people at different addresses, and we all know where that ends up. Again, these are things that need to be cleaned up in future years. Pennsylvania, they have 80,000 mail-in votes and 105,000 provisional ballots still outstanding. Biden thinks these are going to break in his favor. The Trump campaign has reason to believe otherwise, particularly with the provisional ballots. As we all know, the Trump campaign was barred. They were actually prevented from having observers in the process, even after the courts ordered Pennsylvania to stand the hell down and let us observe. If you don't have transparency in a voting process, you don't have democracy in function, or in fact, you don't have a constitutional republic. All of this stuff is now coming to light. They also, like Georgia, have thousands of overseas and military ballots, if I didn't already mention it. And as we are learning, and the Trump campaign is well ahead of us on this, they had statistically impossible voter turnout which has already been referred for investigation, and they have multiple cases of counties curing deficiencies in ballots. And we all know what that means. Putting addresses on them and signatures on them when they didn't arrive with them, and doing things that should never be allowed in any sort of honest election. Again, these are the types of things that are coming to light and are being handled by the Trump campaign. Wisconsin, there were tons of irregularities on election day. The recount is starting next week. I just want to conclude with this, guys. There's a recent study that came out, literally I saw it this morning. Mathematicians, statisticians, and economists are concluding, not opining. These are subject matter experts who have conclusively now weighed in and said that the Biden math is not just statistically improbable, it is statistically impossible. And I'm going to give you a couple of key quotes from this. The voter turnout in Wisconsin apparently annihilated the historical record of 66% by almost 30 percentage points. The odds of this occurring are 0.00000. That's 5 zeros after the decimal point, guys. 0.000000189%, or 1 in 52 million. Statistical analysts have noted that this 5-point deviation was not only a statistical improbability, but a virtual statistical impossibility. I am reading direct quotes from this article, which will be in the comments. Biden also pretty clearly fails an accepted test for catching election fraud that is used by the State Department and forensic accountants. For what it's worth, I'm continuing to quote, there also happens to be a record number of 90-year-olds registered to vote in 1 year during a pandemic, more so than at any point in Pennsylvania history. Nothing suspicious there, right, guys? Final quote, and here is a list of over 14,000 dead people. I repeat, here's a list of over 14,000 dead people who either voted in Wayne County, Detroit, or were registered to vote. Again, guys, we don't have a democracy. We don't have a constitutional republic. We don't have jack squat if we don't have transparency and honesty in voter turnout, in elections, and in our presidential run. What we are fighting for right now isn't who the next damn president is. It is the very bedrock of our country. And if we lose this fight, we lose all. The other thing that Donald Trump wanted you to know is there are 3 things that we should stand by and be ready to do. 1, if you can possibly donate. I know we've all donated, but now is the time. DonaldTrump.com is where you can donate, guys. This is not a rallying cry for donation. This is just, obvious, guys. They're having to maintain thousands of attorneys at this point, and you need to get the attorneys paid to do this work. Secondly, if you notice any voter irregularity at all, or you hear of it at all, you should report it to the Trump folks, and that can happen at 1-800-895-4152. Again, that phone number is 1-800-895-4152. And the last thing we need to do is stay ready. We need to go to rallies. We need to go to protests. This is as much a spiritual and PR battle and a narrative battle at this point as it is anything else. We need to not just let President Trump know, who is fighting for us, that we're fighting for him. We need to let the world know where we stand on this. So go to your rallies, go to your protests, wave your flag, and make damn sure that you turn any sort of monkey business, funny business, or shenanigans over to the proper authorities. And you should also notify Project Veritas. If you don't know how to reach them, private message me. Take care, guys.